I gasped, kicked, clawed at the air, and then I heard it. That same voice from the video, whispering in my ear. "We found you," with a wicked laugh. I screamed, and just like that, it was gone like it had been ripped out of the air. Would you dare explore the darkest corners of the web if it meant uncovering something no human was ever meant to see? Some people think the dark web is just for those that do drugs and hackers, but there are layers far beneath those places, hidden even from the criminals and freaks. And if you go deep enough, you don't find something, but rather something finds you. I used to think the dark web was mostly a myth, creepy stories on YouTube or Reddit. But curiosity is a hell of a drug, and I've always had a taste for the forbidden. At first it was harmless, hidden forums, conspiracy boards, puzzle sites. It was nothing too wild, but one night I went deeper. I found a nameless forum, marked only by a spiral drawn in shifting ASCII characters. It took layers of encryption, a specialized browser, and strange access keys to get in. It felt like cracking open a vault. Maybe that's exactly what I did. The landing page was black with one flashing red line. "We see you now." I should have stopped there, but I didn't. The threads were disturbing, not just because of what was in them, but because people shared it like it was normal. There were videos of strange rituals, audio clips full of screaming, and voices begging for help. Some posts were just long strings of numbers, others were creepy pictures with names like openyourthirdeye.jpg or theyknowwhereyouare.png. One thread stood out. It was titled, "Ask to see the other side." There were no replies. Just one post from a user named 3VOrc, and the message read, "If you're ready, type yes and wait, but once you see it, you'll never unsee it." I didn't hesitate. I typed yes and hit send. The page glitched. My screen flickers black. When it came back, everything had changed. No spiral, no menu, just a full screen video playing on its own. It started with static. Then shapes began to form, faces, but not quite human. Too many eyes flickering. A low droning started, like 1,000 whispers. My speakers weren't even on. Then the video cut to a dim concrete room. A figure stood in the corner, completely still. It didn't move, but something about it made my skin crawl like reality was bending around it. The video froze, and a message appeared. "You have been seen." Then my laptop shut itself off. I sat there with my heart racing, trying to laugh it off. Just a scary sight, I told myself. But the fear didn't leave. And neither did the feeling that I was being watched. That was just the first night. I tried to move on. I closed the laptop, took a shower, even watched dumb comedy videos to distract myself. But I felt this heaviness in the room, a pressure behind my eyes. I couldn't sleep that night. The next day, weird things started happening. My fully charged phone died within minutes. My smart TV turned on by itself to a black screen, a low hum coming from the speakers. Every time I passed a mirror, I caught movement behind me that wasn't mine. By the third day, I started hearing whispers. At first, it was faint, like when your ears ring and you almost hear words, but then it got clearer. I'd be in the kitchen and hear my name from the living room. I tried wiping my laptop, deleted everything, scrubbed the drive, reinstalled the OS, even threw it out and bought a new one. But it didn't help, because now it wasn't just on the laptop, it was in my life. My friends noticed something was off, but what could I say? Hey, I watched a creepy video, and now my shadows don't match anymore. I tried confiding in one of my friends, a tech guy who knew a lot about the dark web. He looked at me like I was nuts until I said, "Ask to see the other side." His face went pale immediately. He stood up, walked over, and said, "Never say those words out loud again." Then he handed me a flash drive and said, "Plug this in." Boot it. It'll scrub your IP and lock you out of those directories for good, but if they already saw you, it might be too late. I went home, plugged in the drive, and ran the program. The screen went black. Then a new message appeared. It's not the data they want. It's you. I yanked the power strip from the wall and sat in silence, sweat running down my neck. That's when the doorbell rang. It was around 2:17 a.m. I live on the 4th floor of a building with a locked gate, so no one gets in without buzzing first. The bell rang again, then 5 times in a row. I grabbed a knife and crept to the peephole, but no one was there. The knocks stopped. I stood there frozen for what felt like hours with a knife in hand and breath held. I slowly backed away from the door and did the only thing I could think of. I turned on every single light in the apartment. Bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, hallway. Every corner flooded in warm yellow light, but it didn't help, as the apartment still felt dark. Not in a way I could see, but in a way I could feel, like something had come in with those knocks. I didn't sleep. I just sat in bed with the knife, staring at the door, waiting for another sound. But nothing came. The next morning, I packed a bag and left the apartment. I couldn't stay there. Not after that. I went to stay with my cousin a few towns over. I didn't tell him about what happened. Just said I needed to crash for a few days, which he said was okay. That night, as I went to brush my teeth, when I turned on the bathroom light, the mirror was already fogged up, like someone had just taken a shower. But no one had. There were no sounds. No water running, no one home but me. I stepped toward the mirror, wiped it with my palm and face. There was a handprint on the other side of the mirror. I ran out, then decided to sleep on the couch with the lights on, with the TV blasting some sitcom reruns, just to drown out the silence. Every now and then, I swore I saw movement in the reflection of the TV. The next day I found my phone and saw something that nearly made me throw up. A new photo. Not one I took. It was me sleeping, taken from just a few feet away. The angle was from above, like someone was standing over the couch. I zoomed in the corner of the photo, partially in the shadows. There was a figure. I couldn't see the face, just the outline of a long, twisted neck and arms that looked too long for a normal person, like they were reaching for something. I smashed the phone, left it there and walked out the door. I didn't even put on shoes, just ran into the street like a possessed man. I stayed in a motel after that, a cheap place on the edge of town. One of those spots where the sheets are paper thin and the walls always smell faintly of mildew. But it felt safer, neutral, untouched by whatever was following me. For a while, it worked. 2 nights passed without anything weird. No whispers, no knocks, no shadow figures. I almost let myself believe it was over, that maybe it had all been a breakdown, or some weird dream spiral triggered by stress. Then night 3 came. I woke up at 3:03 a.m., not because of a sound, but because I couldn't breathe. It felt like something was sitting on my chest. This was not sleep paralysis. I've had that before. This was different. I could move, I could thrash, but something heavy, cold, and invisible was pressing me into the mattress. I gasped, kicked, clawed at the air, and then I heard it. That same voice from the video, whispering in my ear. "We found you," with a wicked laugh. I screamed, and just like that, it was gone like it had been ripped out of the air. But on the wall right next to my head was a word. Again. It was carved in. I left that night and haven't stayed in one place for more than a week since. Something was awakened when I visited that dark web forum. And it's still following me. Sometimes curiosity doesn't just kill the cat, it opens a door you can't close. What found me after I went too deep on the dark web hasn't stopped watching, and it wants me to go deeper. If you are curious about what happened next, make sure to subscribe to Insidious Inc., turn on that bell, like and comment next. And trust me, you won't be ready for it.